Welcome to a special build episode for Gaming English. This episode is going to hopefully focus on some vocabulary words, but it's a little bit more focused on just listening and watching a speed build. Recently, The Sims announced that they're coming out with a new stuff pack called Tiny Living, and I'm so excited to get this stuff pack because I love building and I love a good challenge. And this is a fun build challenge that forces you to build small. What's really exciting is that The Sims creators, or Maxis, is holding a competition right now for builders. And the competition rules are to build a small house on a small lot and upload it onto the Sims gallery with a special hashtag. Let's just go straight into the speed build. As you can see, I've already started the build off camera, mostly because I wasn't sure that I would be able to do this build because it involves a lot of special objects from within The Sims cheat mode, specifically debug. And I wasn't sure if they would be glitchy. I wasn't sure if my building would actually sit next to this tree or against this tree. So I did a lot off camera just to make sure it would work first. Now that I've confirmed it works, I'm going in and furnishing and adding the wood covering. I wanted this house to be a magical potion house in the trees. And I wanted that whimsical, fantastical feeling, which meant lots of color, but I also wanted texture. Unfortunately, with The Sims, there isn't much of a choice when it comes to color and texture. This is basically it. And we're not allowed to use custom content or content created by fans, so I had to use only what you see within The Sims. So I'm torn between sort of an island aesthetic, which you can see here, lots of open windows with no glass. And then I realize I'm not exactly on an island here, and the climate is most likely much cooler in the winters, and whoever lives here is probably going to freeze to death. So I decide against the wide open windows and go for windows with glass or panes. As you can see, the lot is covered in random items. All of these are from the debug menu. So you have to put on your cheat code and go into the special menu that you can't access without using special cheats. Because the menu is so full of these random items, I just placed them all on the lot to make it easier to grab them when I'm ready. I love that window so much. I just wish it came in more vibrant colors. I had this idea in my head for how I wanted this build to look, and if I had custom content, I could make it happen. But within the limits of The Sims, it was a little bit more of a challenge. Which is good. It's good to challenge yourself every now and then. But I was especially nervous for this build because this is the first time I've ever uploaded anything to the Sims gallery. I've never made any of my builds public before, and I was really nervous. I didn't want to have my debut into the gallery be a complete disaster. So I'm playing around with a bunch of different windows and window styles to see if I can add that whimsical aesthetic with those. And I end up using a lot of the magic pack. I cannot remember the name of the magic pack right now. I keep wanting to say Discover Magic, but I know that's Discover University. Getting them all mixed up. But the recent magic pack that just came out is amazing, and of course I have to use it for this potion house, so you'll see a lot of that. I wanted to add a lot of greenery. I'm excited that this tree is kind of coming into the house itself. So the trunk is just part of the house and it adds a beautiful decorative element. But it was frustrating to build with this tree because the leaves were in the way and it glitches a lot. Basically because I'm using cheats to make this happen, and you're not technically supposed to be able to build on a tree without cheats at least. So of course there's going to be a little bit of glitching, a little bit of jumping because the branches are in the way. But when it comes to actually playing in live mode, I haven't had too much of a problem. I've been play testing it a little bit and it's not as frustrating as it is in build mode. So if you do decide to download this, of course, feel free to change anything you want in build mode. Just be careful when you do because you might have some problems, I don't know. Or you're probably way better at this than I am, and I am just a complete noob. I don't normally do these types of crazy builds. This is actually my first tree house, so I'm new to this, but maybe for you this is easy. I don't know. If you do want to download this build, it is under Gaming English. I'm shocked I was able to get this screen name. I recently changed it from my original screen name, which was actually my full name, which is so not secure. I don't know why I had it as that for so long. Probably because I never posted to the gallery. I was very private, so I didn't worry about it. But if I'm sharing this, of course, I want to have a more secure screen name and something that's a little bit more branded to what we're doing. It is called Gaming English, if you want to download this. And it's my first ever upload into the Sims gallery. So you'll probably only see one, but I have a few more that I'm going to be adding soon as well. When I was building this, I was freaking out and I didn't think it was good enough. So I actually built another tiny home and I recorded my building of that as well. So I have a speed build for you for that later on. Right now I'm playtesting a few of these objects and it looks like you can use the sink under the stairs, but your Sim's head will get cut off. So I moved that sink. What's interesting is you can't use the oven and stovetop under the stairs. Where it's placed now, I tried using it and it didn't work, as you can see. It was very strange, especially because the small refrigerator that you see there from Discover University worked just fine. But what are you gonna do? I know that I'm playtesting this at night in The Sims, so it's very dark. Little bit of a noob move, I guess, because I definitely need some light in that room. But I wasn't really looking at textures at this point or colors, just placing layouts. And it's around this point that I realize this build is too small, so I extend it a little bit. I'm trying to make this build as small as possible. The rules don't state that the building itself has to be within a certain number of squares, but I wanted to try to be as small as I possibly could. I'm working on the interior walls right now, and really what I want is a vibrant color that's a little bit deeper than the one that you see. I wanted this deep forest green or a deep jewel-like purple, but I also wanted texture, so just the paint alone just seemed too boring for this build, and it was hard for me to find a texture and a color that fit correctly. I'm adding the sofa right up against the trunk of the tree. I love it there so much. I feel like it fits perfectly. And I'm starting to see how the greens and the purples would look so nice together. So I'm trying to sort of match that with the walls, but again, it's not easy. This is actually a nice color green. I didn't ultimately choose this color, but it's not bad. Watching this now, I chose a lot of objects from a lot of different packs. And here I'm sizing down a coffee table, and that was a mistake because the objects on top are going to float unless I fix them. So I end up fixing that later when I discover it. Here I'm adding the dining table. And at this point, I still don't know the color scheme for this room, or even what the floors are going to look like. I don't think I realized I had forgotten to place floors yet, but this build was sort of all over the place because it required such a small space. I had to play test in the middle of it. I had to place objects early to make sure that there was enough space. Here I wanted to add lots of built-ins and cabinetry because you need storage for these tiny builds. You don't have much space for your things, and storage is key. I recently got laundry day, so I'm so excited to use all the items from that. They have a lot of good storage items. And I'm just placing a lot of clutter objects to make this feel lived in, like a real tiny home. I love those bead curtains. I forget which pack that's from, but I haven't been able to use them very often. They haven't exactly fit my needs yet. And of course, we're hanging a lot of floral objects and plants around because this is a potion crafter. So they're going to have plants everywhere for their ingredients. They're probably going to be growing a lot of plants as well. And I wanted to have that feeling or that vibe within the build itself. I also wanted to have a lot of candles for some natural lighting, if you can call that natural lighting, I don't know. I haven't noticed yet either that the candles and the penguin TV are floating, but at least I have floors at this point. Trying to find a nice purple wall, and I choose this color for a while. It actually fits quite well, but I go with something different at the end. Onto the second floor. I tried to do a railing with these stairs, but it doesn't fit the fencing that I'm using here, which this fencing is perfect for a tree house. I had to use it, but that meant sacrificing railings for the stairs. So your Sims are going to be in danger. So that corner room is going to be our bathroom. And it's going to have two doors, one to get to the bathroom itself, and then one to get to that little loft space next to it, which is kind of a unique layout, which is part of what the Sims are going to be judging us on, by the way. So maybe that will be a point in my favor. Honestly, I don't think there's any chance that I'm winning this competition. There are so many good builds on the gallery right now for it that there's no way, but at least I entered and tried something new, as terrifying as it was. I love the beehive wallpaper you see there, that really textured, patterned wallpaper, but it was hard to find a different wall covering that went well with it. So I'll be changing that a lot. I've been changing many things a lot in this build. I was just so nervous. It's my first time ever uploading a build to a gallery, so I wanted it to be as nice as possible. And that tree is getting in my way. Definitely in the second floor, it's really frustrating dealing with that tree because it bounces your camera up a lot and gets in your way visually. It's frustrating, but it's worth it in the end, especially once you get into live mode. It's not so bad. Adding more shelving from Laundry Day. I love that pack so much. It's definitely worth the buy for that one. And more candles here. I love that lotus candle from, I think it's City Living. I use it in so many of my builds. Here we're setting up a little desk area for our sim to study some potions. Obviously, you can't fit a cauldron in here like I was trying to do, but at least your sim can study some potions, store some potions here as well. And it's this nice little nook or loft space for them to do all of that. As you can see, the camera is jumping around so much because of that tree. I apologize for that. It's especially terrible when it's sped up like this. And now just adding some wall coverings, placing some items we got from Debug. These potions, we're going to put them on a shelf soon. I love this little nook right here. You'll see what I'm about to do. And I love having this stack of books with the orb on top. Not those books, you'll see. Because it does not fit correctly. This one. Having a stack of books, and then you've got your magical orb just kind of resting on top. And of course I had to cover the clipping on the other side with some vines, which works really well because I'm actually going to cover the living room with vines at the end. Right now though, I'm just placing all of the greenery on the lot. This greenery comes from the Get to Work pack. So it's that Alien Worlds greenery that you can get in debug mode. I'm also adding crystals because this is a magical pool with magical crystals growing out of it. And mushrooms that are glowing and plants that are glowing and some flowers that float in the air. We've also got some crystals inside as well. And we're getting right to the end of the recorded part of this build. I of course make a lot of changes outside the recording, but I didn't want you to get bored watching for so long, so I did it off camera, but I'll show it to you in a moment. Here we go. I'm sorry for the blurriness here. I don't know what happened. I was recording within the Sims record mode itself, and it just wasn't happy with me. Anyway, here's the front door, and we have the living room covered in plants and vines. I really love that green wood wallpaper. I think it worked out quite well. You've got your built-ins here, so lots of storage. And the second floor, we have the bedroom with a new bed with starry coverings and our little walkway. I'm really happy with this build. I think it went really well. And I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit subscribe for more. And I hope you have a great day. Bye!